super quick. But I just want you to be like brutally honest and just like, you know what I mean? Tell me everything. So, Luke, where were you before we met? What was going on? What was going on with business? What was going on with life? Where were you? Give me
I know
a summary.
the exact date. So I actually know the exact date. So it was May time. It was the end of May, and then you jumped on the laptop with me and you went through everything. But prior to that, in the position that I was in was nothing but stress, is what I remember. So I'd been on my e-com journey for about 6 months. I had started drop shipping. I had my first product, which was a very small margin product, which I thought I was earning money. But when I actually looked at my accounts, I was losing money because it was such a small margin. There were all these hidden costs everywhere, and we're talking thousands of pounds. So I remember shutting that one down, and then I realized from that I need to go for a bit of a higher margin product. So again, went down the drop shipping route, found a beauty product that sold for, I think it was $100 at the time, and it was great. The sales were coming in. There was a big demand for it. But the issue was that the product was just terrible. So I was getting chargebacks left, right, and center. I was getting emails from clients, like just nothing but bad reviews. So I think I made a couple of £1,000 out of that one, and I shut that whole business down as quickly as possible. And then I moved on to my final one, which had the good margin, a well-researched product, a very high demand product, a very high pain point as well. I remember, so I set up the website, still looked like a drop shipping website because that's all I'd learned. And then I sat down with you after that, and things that literally took off within a week, I would say. They took off. I remember calling you up saying, I've got my first sale. Oh my God. And then a couple of days later, it was like, I've got like 3 sales. I've got like 4 sales. It's just gone like that. Yeah.
Look at that, bro. It's such a good story, man. And where are you now? Like, what's going on now? I mean, it's only a few months later, right?
Yeah. I mean, even while that business was running, I was running so low on funds when I was out in Bali. So I moved back to the UK. I'm currently living with my sister because I had honestly no money. I was at my lowest point. I was down to £500 left in my bank account. I was like, yeah. But I mean, the sales were trickling in, but the issue is that I'm growing this company. So every pound that I made, I was reinvesting it back into the company. So my money was going down in my personal account. My money was coming up in my business, but all of it was being reinvested. And I think I've obviously done really well investing it in the places that I have, because I've now just hit over 30K a month. I'm over £90,000 in revenue.
Wow.
I've done more than 450 orders, and that's all in the space of 6 months.
That's amazing, bro. And profitability wise, last month, how well were you?
Profitability wise, I'm working on a 60% profit margin. So
amazing.
Take that.
That's
£95,000. Take that.
Love that, bro. That's so cool. And just to kind of follow up on that, like, what was stopping you from reaching that before we met or before we kind of engaged? What was the problems?
Experience, 100%. Like, the mentorship side really helped out to help me avoid making these huge mistakes. Like, there's just silly things like putting an offer for no reason on my landing page, building a landing page. I didn't even know what a landing page was when we first met. I was trying to do it off of the home page or product page, if you remember.
I remember.
Yeah, it's things like it all came down to experience. And I think when we spoke with your experience, you sat down with me and said, look, right, let's go through each page. What are you trying to do here? And that thought process, it all just clicked into place for me, you know?
Yeah. It was good that we recorded it as well, right?
Yeah, so exactly. It's quite funny looking back at that now.
yeah, literally. That was like the first video I ever posted on my YouTube channel. And I was like, okay, right. I've done this myself multiple times, but no one knows that objectively. Okay, anyone can say anything online. So let's take a look, beginner, this kind of very basic knowledge, and let's try and put what I think I can do into practice. And then the speed that you got results was just amazing. Particularly so, like 6 months now. You're making consistent profit. The business is growing. What is it going to allow you to do? Like, what's next for you? What are you planning to do? Whether it's financial, business, life, what's it going to enable you to do?
My next target is I want to be hitting 100K months by June. I'm going to be going to China to bring out some new products as well. So I want to increase my product line. I want to increase my market as well. So I'm now at the stage where I've proven that the product works clearly. I've only sold it to the UK market, which is incredible. So I think the next stage is to take on the big boys in America. Buying a lot of stock as well. I'm talking about doing 1,000 units next, which means that I'm going to lower the cost of my product, which is going to increase my profit margin as well, because I'm going to negotiate with these guys. Get the items instead of shipped out, instead of them getting flown over, I'm going to get them shipped out, so reduce my costs everywhere. So yeah, that's it. So 100K by June monthly is my target, and I'm pretty.
And what about no, bro, I'm 100% certain you're going to get there if you stay on trajectory. What about personal goals? What's this going to allow you, or has this now allowed you to do that you couldn't do before?
I've got a whole list of things that I've written down for when I get rich or when I hit my certain goals. One of them is fitness for me. I feel like I've been very unhealthy on my journey up to where I am at the moment, and I've taken my health for granted. That includes not working out, not eating right. You know, I was in a state of depression before we jumped on that call. You know, for a man not making a lot of money, it means a lot in the world that we live in. So, and if you take that away, you start really taking your health for granted. So now my life's looking a lot more positive. I need to start treating my body right. So that's very high up on my list. I want to do a little bit more traveling, meeting more people, creating partnerships in like China, like going to these countries where I'm selling, you know, meeting people, actually getting involved in the business properly.
And running it like a public business. It's amazing. That's what most people get into it, let's be honest, is their time, financial, and location freedom, because e-com, as you know, the infrastructure allows it to run pretty much on autopilot. So again, it's just nice to see living, breathing, talking evidence that this is a potential reality for everyone if and when they get into it.
That's it.
It's just nice to see results. Nothing makes me happier than being able to kind of have that level of impact. And you're just getting started, bro. Everything's still to come.
One thing I would say for anyone thinking that this is like, oh, I can do this for a couple of hours a day, you need to give it your all, guys. If you're gonna do it, go in 100% on something like this, and don't think that it is just, oh, I'll do 2 hours, 3 hours here a day, and then it will just build up. You need to live and breathe the e-commerce. I mean, from 0 to 6 months, I have learned so much, but if I was working a part-time job and doing this, I would not be anywhere near the position that I am in right now.
Yeah, I agree. The main thing is to keep the main thing. And you've done it really well, and now you kind of have the space and hopefully the financial freedom to kind of double down on that and just kind of keep things on trajectory. So I love it, bro. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for helping me out from the get-go. I don't think I'd be here right now if it wasn't for you, man. Much love.
Bro. I'm happy to help. All good, bro.